Hello, my name is Ed Frawley and I own Leerburg. This video you're going to watch is a video that I filmed and included in a recent online course that I produced with our friend Michael Ellis in California. We titled it Sports Skills Masterclass. But in this video, and that online course it's close to 20 hours long. It has over 300 videos in it. The video you're going to watch is one I pulled out of it because it's interesting. You're going to hear Michael talk about remote collars and when they're used incorrectly, how they can create superstitious association with dogs. It's a very important topic. Remote collars, when they're used correctly, when they're introduced at the right time in a dog's training and the right way, it's one of the greatest tools that's ever been invented, but it's also one of the most misunderstood and most abused tools. So if you like the information in this video, at the end of it, we're going to put the web address on for Sports Skills Masterclass with Michael Ellis, and you can go to our website and read a detailed description of everything that's in it.
Aversive control of behavior and potentially a little talking about the electric collar. Just because we use it a lot now, and even though you may or may not wind up using the electric collar with your dog, if there's a chance that you will, and there are places where it's really beneficial, then I'd like to just sketch a quick sketch outline of what we do with the collar, just so people know that it's slightly different. And like every other tool that we use, I would like to have kind of put the tool and the pieces in place before I'm starting to apply it to a lot of behaviors, right? So the same thing we do where we teach leash pressure in isolation so that we can then use the leash pressure to affect behaviors. I want to do the same kind of thing with the electric collar, right? The electric collar, one of the pitfalls with the electric collar is that it lends itself really well to what we call superstitious behavior. So where the dog associates the stimulation, because it's such an unusual sensation for the dog, it associates the stimulation with something other than what we wanted it to, right? So we used to just kind of slap electric collars on a dog and tell them to do something. If they didn't do it, we'd hit them with a collar, and that can go horribly wrong on you, right? So the dog, the first time they feel the stimulation, they might think the ground bit them, or the grass did, or the pole they were standing next to, or all these things are all possible superstitious behaviors. So what we're going to do is we are going to use the electric collar in conjunction with the leash, layered over behaviors that the dog already understands. And then, depending on what I'm going to do, I'll do a little bit of low-level continuous, which is the escape work, right? So remember we talked on the first day about escape avoidance training. When I'm using a nick or I'm using a correction or something afterwards, the avoidance part of the escape avoidance paradigm, meaning the dog learns to avoid that consequence by either doing or not doing something. The escape portion is where the dog learns to turn off something unpleasant with their behavior. So leash pressure is classic escape. A correction for not sitting is classic avoidance, right? So when we're first using this, at this stage, we're actually really seriously muddying the water. So this conditioning phase, we're doing something that's patently unfair, right? Meaning I'm giving a command that the dog is going to do, and I'm giving him a leash tap and a nick anyway, right? So when I call my dog, he was going to come. But the reason I do that is I want the dog to have ensured success and feel that stimuli and realize, oh, it's just like the leash, right? And so that way, so you're not going to do this very long. You're not going to go out there and continue to give your dog commands and nick and pop him, right? You're just going to do that enough to show him what it is. And then we're going to show him a little bit of escape training. And the little bit of escape training is I've turned the collar down a little bit because it's going to go on to continuous. And I have the dog out on a leash. I turn the collar on. I call the dog. I help them turn with the leash if necessary. As soon as they turn, I shut the collar off, right? So they basically turn the collar off with their behavior. So you don't call them and then turn the collar on. You turn the collar on and they shut it off with their behavior. So you just make them turn towards you. And then I do the same thing with the touchpad. I get close, I turn the collar on, and I say touch, and I hop them right onto it, and I shut it immediately off. And so now I have both pieces in place if I want them. So now the dog knows he can turn the collar off, and knows that a bump is just like a leash pull. And at that point, I can sort of leave it alone. And then if I never use the collar, great. If I need to use it, my dog is sort of ready and understands it, and I don't get any weirdness when I start using it.